So once again, Sniperwolf has found herself at the bottom of a pit, and she decides instead of climbing out, to grab a shovel and dig further down into the abyss. And she came out last week with a response to a lawsuit that was filed by the wonderful, lovely Sausage. But this has massively backfired, with the meaty boy coming back with a response. And it absolutely blows what she said out the water. Once again, this only further highlights the problems and dramas with SSSniperwolf, and really asks questions of how can this crass and demeaning character be pushed to literal children on this website. So let's talk about it. So hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Jake Baz. We covered the weird and wonderful on the internet, and today we're with part 3 of the Sniperwolf lawsuit drama, as Sausage has dropped another nuke around this whole situation, which totally blows what she said out the water. I've covered both previous parts of this lawsuit in previous videos that I'll leave at the end card, but please do stick around because I'll summarize it for you. So once again, I'll cut down all the nasty and juicy bits for you, and make sure that this entire video isn't just like a massive readout of law, because that as a concept would be drier than Gandhi's flip-flop. So yeah, Sniperwolf has been sued by Sausage, her ex-husband. This initially happened about maybe 6-7 weeks ago, and this court document was literally like damning. Like, it explained everything of the problems with her videos, which includes him scripting all of her previous videos, including reaction content, also doing all the gameplay in her videos, which, bear in mind, she used to lie about all the time, saying that this was all her. It never was. And yeah, makes her out as this money-obsessed person that doesn't really care about anything she does here, just that she's getting money. So yeah, her entire backlog of content is fake, but that's fine. He also alleged that she made him miss out on brand deals, which would have made a lot more money as well, and overall just addicted to the bag. And by that I mean money, not in the Hollywood way. The Wolf then responded with this massive lawsuit with a counterclaim, which is essentially where if someone's being sued, you can just sue them back, essentially, just sort of like tag along and dismiss anything. And yeah, she basically rebuked everything that he said. The entire thing was very vague, obscure, didn't really make any meaningful points, and didn't have anything like of substance in it. Sounds a bit like a brain, doesn't it? So in the latest court documents, it turns out that Sausage has come back to her, basically just reaffirming everything that he said and just pointing out the obvious errors in her entire like counterclaim. And yeah, I'm gonna get into this now. So before I do, if you do enjoy the video, please do hit the like and sub. I'd love to see you back. I'm gonna keep on continuing doing the odd video on Sniperwolf, and I've got a really big one out this week that you definitely don't want to miss. And yeah, all these screenshots were provided by Madcaster, so I just want to say a big thank you to Madcaster. He breaks down this in much better detail than I can from a legal standpoint, and his videos are brilliant, so yeah, check him out after this. So as I stated, this is a response to the fact that Aaliyah had done this counterclaim, and starting off a legal document by saying Young and Celeste, husband and wife, who are in the midst of a divorce proceeding. Got to sting a little bit. But yeah, this is why it's such like a horrible issue for them to be in, because it's an entire fallout that makes everything worse because they are divorced. More than a decade ago, Young and Celeste formed a business venture where they created content for a YouTube channel known as Sniperwolf. Both Young and Celeste played important, distinct roles in the business venture. A bit like a budget Bonnie and Clyde. Apart from the difference being Clyde looks like he's gone through some things. Young created the Sniperwolf channel and the scripts for the content. Celeste was the face of Sniperwolf, who read scripts while Young filmed her. And there we go. Within the first 2 sentences of this entire thing, he's basically batted the entire thing off. In her previous counterclaim, Aaliyah basically just says that all he did was do the descriptions and titles, which is something that in the original lawsuit was stated as obvious that isn't the case. And then obviously they've come and backed it up again. And of course, this just shows how fickle her content is. There is nothing there that's actually interesting. It's the fact that she's just reading from a script on a screen. So it turns out that all of the allegations about her doing this scripting and not actually reacting to stuff, which I don't even know how you managed to do that. How is that not... Like, it's so lazy to just sit there and react to her content, especially in the way that she does it. But she manages to somehow make it even lazier. You might have to tell me in the comments, but I think I'd prefer to actually sit through a clip than just read something off a script time-wise. Like, what? And you've just got to wonder why Aaliyah was the face of Sniperwolf. Why would it be Evan Sausage? I mean, there's a bit of a difference between them. I'm just comparing chalk and cheese, fuck me. Then stating the business venture was highly lucrative, and I fucking bet it was. And then following that up with, unfortunately, as their marriage frayed, so did their business relationship. I can only wonder why that would be the case. It then goes on to explain what has happened. Shailesh now moves to dismiss all of Sausage's claims, asserting that Young's claims are more properly asserted in the family court proceedings. This despite the fact that Shailesh has filed counterclaims in the case that essentially mirror Young's claims. And yes, she did do that, so she's gone on and said, this should all be dismissed. And then she's gone actually filed a counterclaim, which essentially is saying that I want something from this. So if you're going to dismiss something, why would you go for something extra? You got to pick the battles that you fight. And I really feel that she went, oh, you've sued me, I'm going to fucking sue you. And like I said, her previous response to this was just really Mickey Mousey. Like, it was terrible how it was formatted and it was so vague. And it explains why she probably did in a reaction just be like, get something sorted now, we need to get rid of this guy. Which, I mean, as we're talking about Aaliyah, that is a very common occurrence that she will do something without thinking of the consequences. Prime example is showing up to someone's house and doxing them. But what do I know? She might have just done that in good faith. And this idea of her doing something without consequences is perfectly shown in this part. The motion is filled with effectively bullshit, accusing Young of having acted vindicatively and surreptitiously. That essentially means that she's saying that he acted snide. Engaging in behaviour that is nonsensical, spiteful and unhinged, and accusing Young of gaslighting Shailesh. Just to put in her response that she got gaslit by Sausage. That is so stupid. Just imagine being sat in court and the judge goes up to you and asks you, how have you been treated by this fine man? And Aaliyah responds by saying she's being gaslit. I think in this entire thing, the only form of gaslighting is you to try and give vague claims stating that Sausage did absolutely nothing for your channel, when he basically did absolutely everything apart from sit on the camera for 10 minutes and record your face. And even then, he was actually fucking recording you. So shut up, like, you're stupid. And yeah, saying that in nonsensical and spiteful behaviour, there is nothing more spiteful than someone that will go up to someone's house and dox them because they're a large content creator that is shitting on them. There's also nothing more spiteful than just going into legal documents and saying this sort of stuff about someone, just trying to harm their character. I'm not saying Sausage is a good person. I don't know if he is. I really don't know. But when I peek through the blinds and look at Sniperwolf, this is her entire character. This is what she is. She is this vindicative, spiteful person. As much as she thinks that her ex-husband is, she is that problem. With then Sausage's lawyer saying, once the hyperbole and vitriol is stripped away, the sufficiency of Young's pleadings rise to the top. And I did say this about Sniperwolf's response. It was embarrassing to look at as like a legal document. I've done law in my time at university, and you barely ever see stuff like this that's actually written down in some sort of like legal case. And yeah, just the idea of seeing gaslighting just, oh. And once you piss away the shit stains that is Sniperwolf, it exposes her for a true character. She doesn't have a clue what's going on. In the original legal case, Sausage came with like timestamps and like things that actually happened. And then this counterclaim that Wolf did, this stupid, silly Wolf, it just was full of, like they say, vitriol, just stupidity. And this is a perfect example. So yeah, Sausage, by responding in this case as we're talking now, it's pulling her pants down in front of the world. And then Sausage responds to Aaliyah because Aaliyah basically said in her counterclaim that the entire reason why this entire fallout happened was literally because of Sausage being an arsehole. And specifically being an arsehole because he'd been dumped. Emphasizing that that is simply incorrect. And that it's actually to do with claims for breach of the Channel Red Operation Agreement and breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, which essentially means they set up this Channel Red, which is their company for Sniperwolf and everything, like the entire brand. And because they're both 50% owners, there is sort of a good faith there in that you do this, I do that, let's all be good, we're getting half the amount of money. And just the idea of considering what actually Sausage has done for her to come out and be like, well, this is only happening because of the fact that we divorced and you're mad. It's redonkulous. It's actually happening because you've stolen money from him, but you're gonna try and obfuscate the truth, aren't you? Because that's what Sniperwolf does. She lies and she lies and she lies. Or she obfuscates the truth and then does it again and again and again until it's too much. Prime example, doubling down on the fact that you have doxed Jacksfilms by taking the piss on it on your Instagram. She doesn't give one shit about anyone or anything around her. She just cares about the money, in my opinion. And obviously all alleged, I'm panicking. One of the things mentioned in the original lawsuit was the fact that Sausage had funds diverted because Sniperwolf had created these channels that were in like Spanish and Portuguese, I think. And all she'd done is re-uploaded the videos with like dubs over them, and then she stole all the money from them videos, even though the fact that they were literally made between him and her. Which once again also suggests the fact that, because this was about a year ago, that her reaction content's faked, because she's done this in the midst of it and he wants it back. And this is a part that gets me with that. Shailesh has admitted in her answer that she and Young jointly formed Channel Red. Both of them were listed as managers and members as of the date of formation, and both remain managers. So she tried to make it out that she's like totally, she's totally inept at what's going on, and she doesn't have a clue about the formation of all this like money because she's just an innocent woman. But she's admitted that she understands that, oh, they both created it and they both own half of it. So the entire point that she has there is flawed. And basically Sausage is just like sticking them up at her. And then Sausage goes on to explain once again how they've been done in. Shailesh unilaterally conspired with Channel Red's brand manager, Kevin Gold, to seek and enter into business agreements or brand deals with certain companies, including but not limited to G Fuel, without disclosing the details of said arrangements to Young. Which is once again another reason of Sniperwolf just being snide and sneaky, just trying to divert funds away from Sausage just because of the fact that she thinks she can get away with it. The second they got divorced, she was like, oh, it's all mine now, it's all mine, and it's not, and you can't just do that, and especially if you've created this big channel that's half and half owned. You have made your own downfall, so you can rot in it. Shailesh retained all profits from these unilateral brand deals, including but not limited to those in G Fuel, in separate bank accounts, blah blah blah. So yeah, she just siphoned money away. What a twat. And obviously I don't think this would be much of a problem if there wasn't actually the inception of the entire channel and the reason the channel exists, and the reason why the channel was going up until recently exactly how it did was because of the fact that Sausage was doing this entire thing before her. It's this puppet master. All she had to do was sit in front of a camera and look pretty and pretend to enjoy something, but she couldn't even do that. It's just so morally wrong. She is horrible to Sausage, considering the fact he is the reason she exists. And yeah, to me, she just comes across as a fucking loser. And yeah, just comes with a couple of bits of further breakdown and then concluding with this brilliant sentence. For all the foregoing reasons, defendant's motion to dismiss should be denied in its entirety. And yeah, it should. You should definitely watch my video before, because this counterclaim really explains what she is. But essentially this entire lawsuit is just ridiculous in the idea that she can even try and come back and counterclaim against it. She accepts that she hasn't paid this money for G Fuel because it's quite obvious if you go into any bank or court documents, you'll be able to pull out the facts that, oh, this money went there. It only takes one call up with G Fuel to confirm this. And that's only mentioned in one of the brand deals. There are multiple brand deals. So what she's done here is she's just got really annoyed at the fact they're getting divorced maybe, or just the fact that she thinks he's an arsehole now, and has just tried to divert funds away from it. It's just yet another example of Sniperwolf just being this amazing human being that just manages to get away with stuff again and again and again, and that's probably not going to hold up in a court of law. Her entire counterclaim was basically just so vague and stupid, and for this to come back and just basically just roast her, I love to see it. She's got nowhere to run and hide. This is definitely only going to get worse. And I don't know about you, but I'm definitely here for it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.